Happy Stranger Things Day! It is officially the release day of season 3. I haven't started watching it yet. I know that sounds bad. I probably will by the time this video goes up. But if you don't know, you probably have realized this. Stranger Things is every freaking where. They've got new Coke. They're at Burger King. They're at Baskin Robbins, according to my brother. They've got poppers. They've got keychains, I'm sure. Backpacks, everything. And one thing that they're really, really expanding on is books. So there are a ton of Stranger Things books. And the other day when I was perusing around Target, this book happened to catch my eye. And it was this new YA book for Stranger Things. It's Runaway Max, which is an official Stranger Things novel. And it's by, bear with me, I think it's Brenna Yovanoff. Not particularly sure, but one really cool thing about that was I actually have read a book by her when I was in oh gosh, it had to be middle school or early high school. I read Paper Valentine by her, which I super loved. So I was really, really excited to pick up this book because Max is, I think I've said this before, but Max is my favorite Stranger Things character. I love Nancy and Jonathan too, but Max is just my girl. So I was super excited to read a book about her, and this book is all about basically, it's season 2 from Max's point of view. It's really short, which you wouldn't think they could fit everything that happens in season 2, but she does it, Brenna, yeah, and it's actually pretty impressive. So it was actually perfect too to read before season 3 started, because it was instead of having to watch a recap or kind of try and remember what happened in season 2, I read this book and it just told you everything, you know, and it is from Max's point of view, but it does a good job of including everything that's happening. And what's really cool is you learn a lot about Max's backstory, and particularly things with Billy, things with her family at home, stuff that happened there. And I was really worried for a lot of it with the Billy stuff that there was gonna be a whole thing about, you know, him not being a true monster, his dad made him that way because he beats him. And I feel for a little while there was, but by the end and kind of towards the middle, Max was no. So that gives me hope that season 3 isn't going to try and redeem him. We'll see with that, but just the way she would talk about him, she realized he truly is a dangerous guy because he has no moral. He messes with people and he won't hurt, I say Max, because she's family, and it's this weird moral code he has where he hates her but she's still family, so it's he hurts everything else around her. And that's one of the reasons that I find so interesting actually when the scene in season 2 is in this when Lucas goes to the arcade and tries to tell her about the monsters and everything like that, and she doesn't believe him. That's one of the reasons she doesn't believe him, is explained in this book, is because she is you imagine monsters as being these otherworld fantastical thing, where I know what real monsters are. I live with one every day. So it's very interesting because I liked that dynamic in season 2 of how Billy's character was supposed to show there are monsters from this world and they look like us and they're everyday people. So to have that kind of justified and reinforced was really, really nice. There's even a quote on the back that I really like, which it's from the scene. If you haven't seen season 2, this book is going to spoil you, but if you have seen season 2, you know everything that happens in this book. But on the back there's a quote from when the best part in season 2, when she stabs him with the syringe, and she says, "I feel like I'd spend my whole life thinking about how things worked, figuring out the rules for locks and people, memorizing my escape routes. Billy had never been a problem that was solvable. He was just something I had to live through. Tonight, though, I was done with monsters." It's just so interesting how for her, since she doesn't know what the Demogorgon is for so long, Billy is really her monster, and she finally at the end is able to stand up to him. And she even has a line that's really nice of, oh yeah, when she slams the bat down on him, you know, at the end, and, you know, basically tells him, screw off, or we're not backing down anymore. She says, "I couldn't protect the girls who went around with him. They were drawn to him in their own whacked out ways for their own reasons. Maybe it was what they wanted or what they thought they wanted. I've been drawn to him too, and it wasn't what I wanted, but it was what I thought I deserved. Or else maybe I just believed it was all there was. Maybe that was how it was for everyone." And it's just so, so amazing to see how great she is. There's so many cute moments too, her and Lucas's relationship is really explored in this, and you kind of get to see the difference between why she gravitates towards Lucas over Dustin, because she feels like Lucas is very honest and straightforward and kind with her, whereas Dustin's kind of putting on a front and saying what he thinks she wants to hear and what he thinks is cool. So that's really cute just to see that friendship and relationship develop. And then there's also some awesome moments between her and Steve, which I really liked. He's definitely the big brother she should have had, you know, if Billy was actually normal because he rescues her first, then she rescues him, and there's the whole, they even have the thing where they're at the junkyard trying to do everything and reinforce it. She suggests that like they should use the hatch to like make a lookout, and when she suggested, she's like, Steve looked down at me and raised his eyebrows. I thought he'd wave me off or say that was a little kid's idea, but instead he nodded and clapped me on the arm. Good thinking. Hey, dickheads. How come you don't help me out as this random girl? And then there's a scene where he saves her, which is really awesome. The thing comes down, screams, does in her face, she screams, and then she's like, then Steve was in front of me, shoving me out the way, squaring up with a bat like he'd face down the whole world and take a chunk out of it before he let anything get to us. And one thing that I really liked too was the girl power in this. Max is so like, she's different than the girls around her. She's a tomboy, and that's made very specific that like her mom wants her to be a girly girl, and she's just not the girl, the daughter her mom wants. Like, she still loves her, but she's very much trying to change her and shape her into something she wants. But I appreciate that it never veers into the, like, I'm better than other girls. Max is always like, I'm different. I get along with boys better than girls, but that doesn't make me better than them or above them. It's just that I'm different and I have a hard time relating to them. And even when she's talking to Mike about how he's treating her so badly because she's not Elle, like, one of her whole things is like, she's like, I have to get him to see me as another, like, a person and not just like another girl, because in Mike's mind it's like, oh, a new girl coming to replace Elle. For her it's not like, oh, we're different, we're better. It's like, no, we're people. It doesn't matter that we're girls. And there's also a really awesome thing that I did not think would happen, but they run into Nancy and Jonathan at the end, and the way she talks about Nancy is, I wish I could give it to every Nancy hater, because I also love Nancy. I think she's so freaking awesome. That was a big moment for Max, you realize, in this, is seeing Nancy and seeing how brave she is on her own. So what's really awesome, let me find the quote. Nancy was standing in front with Steve and Hopper, and this is when they're waiting for the Dema dogs to come in, and she was frightened and delicate, like the girls who always scream the chilling scream in all the stories, but she was fierce too. I'd always believed that it wasn't too hard to be strong, that people like my mom just weren't trying hard enough. I knew that girls could be as badass as boys, but before I'd always thought that the only way to do it was by being just like them. Nancy didn't seem to be trying to be Steve or Hopper. She was dangerous and brave and frightened all at once. When she lifted her chin and raised the gun to her shoulder, it looked like it belonged there. Like, it's just so awesome, because I see how it's so very easily could have veered into like Max is like, I'm just one of the boys, like that's why I get along with them, blah blah blah. But it's her realizing that you can still be yourself and you can still not have to compromise who you are. It's just so awesome, and it really makes me hopeful that her and Elle will have a nice relationship and friendship in season 3, and maybe even like, I don't know, I'd like to see her kind of with Nancy, because it seems like she really respects Nancy, and it was just great to see her being like, I see that Nancy is just being Nancy. Like, she's scared and she's frightened, but she's doing this. Like, that's kind of what makes Max realize that you can be scared and tough at the same time. And like I said, I love that they didn't try and make excuses for Billy or anything like that, and you really got to see just how dangerous he was, especially with her backstory and finding out exactly why they had to leave their old town and what happened there when he first met her and everything. And it's just so fascinating. Like, I feel like because I love Max so much, it really was a great book for me. I don't know if people who aren't a fan of Max would enjoy it as much, but I think it's really good, and it gives you more backstory into her whole character and where she comes from and her thoughts during things that happen in season 2. Because a lot of season 2, like, she's just kind of, you know, they don't let her in for certain things, and she's kind of done with it. She's like, I'm not going to be here to go trick-or-treating when you want me and then kick me out of the AV closet when it's like not my time to be here. It's very nice to see her grow and change and really find this found family when her family really has constantly let her down. So it was just a great kickoff to season 3. I highly, highly recommend it if you are interested in checking out any of the Stranger Things books, learning more about Max. If you love Max, like, it's so good. So I would give it 5 out of 5 stars. I gotta go watch Stranger Things season 3 now, so I'm gonna wrap this video up. But if you have read this book, are interested, or just love Max in general, please feel free to leave your thoughts about it down below in the comments. Also, make sure to give this video a thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye!